All right, guys. Wednesday, lesson 23, it's page 145. Today you are going to learn how to determine if a fraction is equal to, greater than, or less than a half. So everything we're thinking today is cut it in half. Do I have more than a half or less than a half? Or is it equal to a half? Okay? And then how to compare two fractions, decide if this fraction is greater or less than each other based on how it is compared to a half. All right, so our fraction little manipulative page in our notes will help us out. We'll look at that a little bit later. Take a look at the top of page 146. Page 146. I'm going to do my best to draw some of these. When you draw a circle, you draw one line down it. That's a half. So I got a pizza. I ate half. I got half left. Okay, well, I was kind of hungry. Yeah, you guys missed out on one of my funniest jokes. If you were in class today, I'd tell you about this guy. He goes to the pizza joint, and he orders a large pizza. And the guy goes, well, you know, we could cut this into fourths or into eighths or into 12ths. See, what do you think? The guy goes, well, boy, I'm really hungry. So why don't you cut that pizza into 12ths for me? I'm really hungry. And of course, I look around the classroom and nobody gets my joke because a large pizza is still a large pizza. No matter how many pieces you cut it into. Here's my large pizza. I cut it into fourths. It's still a large pizza. Here's my large pizza. I cut it into eighths. It's still a large pizza. It doesn't matter how many pieces you cut out of it. So what is a half? Well, 1, 2 fourths. That's a fourth. And this is a fourth. So I have 2 fourths equal a half. So 1 half and 2 fourths. Now here's eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 eighths equals a half. Well, we skipped 3 sixths in there. If you drew a circle, 3 sixths is a little harder. Oh yeah, sure, there it was. 1, 2, 3 6 equals a half. In other words, this number times 2 on the bottom. So if I had 5, this would be 10. If I had 6, this would be 12. If I had 7, 14ths. All those equal 1 half. So you got to start getting used to those so that you can have them memorized. All right? Well, now we're going to compare it. What if I had 5 sixths? 5 twelfths. If I had 5 twelfths, is that greater or less than a half? Well, we can look at our little chart where we say 6 twelfths equals a half. 5 is less than 6. Therefore, 5 twelfths is less than a half. Well, what if I had 7 twelfths? I can look at what a half is. A half is 6 twelfths, and 7 is more. Therefore, we can know that 7 twelfths is greater than 5 twelfths because they're both compared to a half. And that was our second objective that we were working on today. All right, look at your example number 1. Now, example number 1 has a bunch of questions in one. It says, which fraction is not equal to a half? And they have 9 eighteenths, and they have 10 25ths, and 25 50ths is how you would say that one, and 50 over 100. So there's a couple ways you can do this. One, you can say, well, let's divide 18 in half. What's half of 18? 18 divided by 2 is 9. Or you could say 9 times 2. What's 9 times 2? 18. Well, if they equal that, then that equals a half. I don't want to draw that one. Could you imagine drawing that one a circle with 18 parts in it? Ugh, it would be a mess. So you got to do it another way. Well, let's take 10. What's 10 times 2? It's 20. Uh-oh, this is 25. Did you know that you can't have a half if it's an odd number? So this is your one that's not a half. Well, let's keep going on. We got 25 50ths. What's 25 times 2? 1 quarter plus 2 quarters is 50 cents. So that equals a half. And 50 over 100, obviously a half a dollar is 50 cents. So this one equals a half. So there's a ton of fractions out there, and they all equal a half. Look at example number 2. It's on the bottom of page 146. If you're following along, read it with me. That's Anna ordered 2 pizzas for her family. The vegetarian pizza was sliced into 12ths, must have been pretty hungry, and the cheese pizza was sliced into 8ths. The family ate all but 5 slices of the vegetarian pizza and 4 slices of the cheese pizza. Compare the fraction parts of the 2 pizzas. So we got 5 twelfths. Put this in your second box. And we have 4 eighths. So now to be able to compare these two, let's compare them to a half. So go ahead and look at 12. What's half of 12? 6 twelfths. Okay, good, 6 twelfths. And 5 is less than half. I can put a little arrow there. 5/12 is less than half. All right, let's go ahead and cut 8 in half. 8 in half equals 4, so 4/8. Oh, this one is exactly a half. So this is less than a half, and this is a half. So obviously then, that would be less than. 5/12 is less than 4/8. Those are our only 2 practices today. We'll have a lot of practice on this in our assignments, so we'll take some more of those. But let's take a look at our lesson practice today. Think of a counting number. 6. Double it. 12. 6/12 equals a half. Think of a counting number. 5. Double it. 10. 5/10 equals a half. Think of a counting number. 7. Double it. 14. 7/14 equals a half. And so we could do this all day. That's a lot of fun. All right, take a look at B. Which of these fractions does not equal a half? The same problem that we did up here, we have in B. We got 7/14, we got 8/15, we got 9/18, and we got 21/42. Which one does not? Well, immediately you can say, Mr. Bauer, this one's odd. It can't be this one. You can't have a denominator that has an odd number in it and be a half. Well, let's check these out. What's 7 times 2? 14, that's a half. What's 9 times 2? 18, that's a half. What's 21 times 2? 42, that's a half. What's 8 times 2? It's actually 16. So if we want an 8, it would have to be 8/16. And so this one here is not a half. All right, guys, the last 2 down there, we got 5/8 compared to 5/12. 5/8 compared to, well, let's go ahead and start with the eighths. Cut 8 in half. What do you get? 4. So a half would be 4/8, and 5/8 is more. I like to put a little arrow there. Bigger than a half. So if I had this pizza, I can do eighths, by the way. You'd make them like that, and then like that, and color 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at it, it's bigger than a half. I got more than half a pizza left. And 5/12. So what's half of 12? 6. So 6/12. So 5 is less. So this is more than a half a pizza, and this is less than a half a pizza. Obviously, if you're hungry, you want the 5/8 is greater than. Okay? All right, and then look at the last one. We got 12/24 compared to 6/12. Cut 12 in half, you get 6. This one equals a half. Cut 24 in half, and you get 12. This one equals a half. So 12/24 is equal to 6/12. You can say, they're not equal, Mr. Bauer. Yeah, they are. If you got fractions that are multiples of each other, then they're equal. 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. So they're exactly the same. Just cut into more pieces here. All right, guys. Review our objectives for today. First, we want to determine if a fraction is equal to, less than, or greater than a half. And then we want to compare 2 different fractions, how they compare to a half. When we get to our second video, I'm going to show you a little way to use your cheat sheets in your math folders to help you. God bless your day.